Hey guys, Mix here, and in this video we are back with the RM125, and today we're going to be doing a big step in this build. So as you guys know, we've been having this problem with the shifting. I finally figured it out, and today we're going to be putting back together the engine, getting everything all ready to go, and try and fire it up and see if it actually runs and drives again. So I mean, there isn't much to really put on, just a clutch. And basically just the side cover, along with the exhaust and the exhaust brackets. But that's all pretty easy, and I'm really hoping that we will be able to drive it in this video, because last time when I drove it, it had no power. The clutch was slipping like crazy. So we're gonna try and get that all dealt with in this video. So let's get started. So I have the clutch basket and the clutch plates all laid out here. Everything's here. Let's jump straight into getting this thing put together, and let's get started. Alrighty, so we are back. The camera overheated, so I couldn't really finish the time lapse, but the clutch is on, and now I have these side covers here, and the gasket that I had on here originally around here. I'm gonna reuse it because it's, snapped in half. I am just gonna use Gasket Maker. A lot of people say not to use Gasket Maker, but I've used Gasket Maker on all of my projects, pretty much. And it has never let me down. It's never failed. It's always been super good. And if it does leak, it's not a big deal. The side cover is super easy to take on and off, so it's not really a big deal if it does, but it shouldn't. But we're gonna get started on putting back on the side cover, get it all bolted up, and then while that gasket maker is drying, we'll put on the exhaust and see where we're at from there. So the entire side cover is on. Everything went on pretty nice. So while that is drying, I'm going to throw in the exhaust, and it's probably gonna need to dry a little bit more. So just to ensure that we're getting like the best seal that we can, we're probably gonna continue on to tomorrow right after I put on the exhaust and hook that all up, because usually you should let it sit overnight to make sure that the seal dries nicely. The exhaust, I did repaint it off camera right after I took it off, just because before it kind of got all chipped up a little bit, so I just decided to repaint it, and it looks so much better, so I'm glad that I did that. But anyway, let's get to installing it. Everything is on and all mounted up nice and tight. I still need to get hose clamps for that, but we can just run it for now. I'm not going to bother putting on the brake lever just yet, just in case there is a problem with the oil leaking or anything. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked that everything is back together. Sorry if just like the beginning of this video just seemed like a whole bunch of maybe boring time lapses. But if this thing runs and drives, then later on should be pretty dang exciting. But I'm going to let this dry overnight, and today is Father's Day anyway, so wish your dads a happy Father's Day. But anyway guys, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Alright, so never mind. Obviously it is the same day, it's like 2 minutes later. I just realized that we forgot to put on the new chain. So I am going to put on the brand new chain. I'm not going to put on the new sprockets yet, just because I want to make sure that it will, run and drive once it's time to start it up. But I will throw on the new chain. I don't know if this needs to be cut or if it's already, put to perfect length. But I'm going to take it out of the bag and see how it looks. Alright, so it is already connected with the master link. Alright, so there's the master link, and here's the old chain, which, obviously fit good before. So what I'm going to do is, since it's in roughly half, this is about half of the old chain length, that we might be able to just slip this on without needing to remove the master link or cut any links. So I think I might just try and do that. So I'm stupid. I gotta take off the chain anyway, the master link I mean, because obviously I can't slide it through the frame. I was thinking like mini bikes and how they, you know, I can just put it around in a clutch. But not a big deal. We'll just take off the master link now and then match it up. Alright, so we were back here the next day with a non-overheating camera, and I was in the middle of, you know, showing you guys the chain and seeing how it will fit, but the camera overheated so you guys never saw it. But what I have right here is the old chain lined up. I low-key almost just fell right over, but I have the old chain lined up with the new one, and the links are all matched up. When I hooked it up to the sprockets yesterday, it did overhang about 3 to 4 links, so I just lined it up now, and as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, it is 4 links over. So what I'm going to do is cut off this one, the one just right above, because if I cut it too short, then I'm kind of screwed. And then plus the master link will be added on. So I'm going to cut this one off with the grinder, and then we'll match it up and see how it looks. Alrighty guys, so the chain is cut and hopefully it is all good to go. So now we'll put it onto the bike. Chain is on and there is a pretty good amount of slack. The master link's right there. You know, I just put it in there just to make sure that it's good. So I could probably take out one more link, or I could probably just move the axle back, because there is still a good amount of room that I can move back. So I think I might do that quick. So the chain is on. It's a little bit tight, but once it starts moving around, it's most likely gonna stretch out, because this isn't a pre-stretched chain, so usually they always stretch out a little bit. And I did leave some tension for it, because when you sit on a bike, the chain usually tightens up. So I did leave some tension for that. Now I'm gonna throw on the master link, and then we should be good to go with the chain. So now that we got the chain on, it is almost time to fire this thing up. We just gotta put oil in it, hook up the gas tank. I am gonna put on the new fuel line and get rid of my old ghetto line. Hopefully the gasket sealant dried nicely and we don't have any leaks. So this is the oil that I put in. This is what was just recommended by me by a dealership. We'll dump it in, 700 milliliters, the dirt bike takes. Also, I forgot to tell you guys, I hooked up the clutch cable. I made sure, didn't make the mistake last time, that there was some back and forth movement before the clutch actually engaged, because before it was too tight and the clutch was like always engaged. So now we don't have that problem, hopefully. But let's put in this oil quick. Oh, the oil's in. I'm gonna let that settle. But now I'll just take off my old fuel line, throw on the new one, courtesy of Dylan does. Alright, this will be way easier with 2 hands. Perfect. So while I was getting super excited to fire this thing up, I forgot I need to go to AutoZone and get antifreeze for it. Not a big deal though, so I'll go run out and get that, and then we can fire it up. So I just got some antifreeze, so now we're gonna pour it in quick, and then finally, this time, actually start it up. Alrighty, so we are all filled up. I let all the air bubbles rise out, but once this thing fires up, I will check it again to make sure that it didn't go down too much. If so, then I'll just top it off. But now, let's finally start this thing up. Alrighty guys, here we go. First time starting up since the engine has been opened, and we fixed the whole shifting problem. I'm gonna give it a couple slow kicks first, and then Alright, here we go. Oh boy. So we're having a fuel delivery problem. I've had this problem before. So what I'm gonna try and do is hit the carburetor with the end of a screwdriver or something because the floats might be stuck. So I'll try that and then we'll try again. Alrighty, take two. First I'm gonna do the tilt trick. Alright, we got fuel. I need to put on boots. My shoes are like slipping off the kick lever. Yeah, I need to put on boots. I can't kick it hard. I'll be right back with boots on. Got my boots on. So I'm going to let them warm up a little bit, and then I guess we'll see if it's run. So the choke is off right now, and when the choke is off, it doesn't run that great. Alright, so I don't know if you guys heard me, but when the choke is off, it doesn't run that great. What I want to do is drain the gas and put in some fresh gas just because this has been sitting in the tank for a little while. Maybe that'll fix the problem. The choke on, I mean, it idles really, really high for some reason. I just want to swap out the fuel really quick. Alright, fresh fuel is in. Let's try this again. Alright, so it was idling fine, but when I give it gas, it bogs and then it revs up really, really high. So it could be a mixture issue. So I could try and tune around with it with the screwdriver a little bit. But I mean, if I put in the choke and kick it, no gas, and the idle screw is almost completely out. So I'm going to try and mess around with the air-fuel mixture ratio screw and then see if we can fix it from there. Alright guys, so as I was just tuning, I revved it. Like for some reason when I rev it, it'll bog and then it would rev up. Like it's a huge delay. And I literally went like this and the whole thing just started bouncing off the wall, probably 10,000 RPM, like redlining. So I start like freaking out. I ripped off the gas hose and I just twisted down the idle all the way down and then eventually turned off. So there's definitely something up with the carburetor. I've had so many problems with this stupid carburetor, so I'm thinking maybe I might take it off and go through it. It feels like the throttle kind of, because when I go like that, like it kind of goes back kind of slow. And it used to have like a snappy noise when it used to go back, but now it's just kind of like a dull noise. I don't know. But I'll probably just go through the whole thing because something's definitely shot in there.
2 days later.
So we were back here like 2 days later. I spent all day yesterday editing this video, but I never got to record an outro. And I was going to take off the carb, but I figured that this video is going to be pretty dang long if I did go through the carburetor and everything. So we're going to wait until next video. I might try and... I did do some tuning off camera and got a little bit better, but not really. It wasn't like revving off the wall anymore. But there's still a problem that once the choke is off and, you know, there's air flowing in, like I showed you guys before, I would give it gas, it would bog, and then let go, and then it would rev up. So I definitely don't want to try and drive it like that when it's going like that. I mean, when it's on the choke, it runs perfect, pretty much. So I just don't know exactly what the problem is. I'm guessing it's the air-fuel ratio, but comment down below if you guys know for sure. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, tell your friends about the channel.